Sometimes it's really cool to show something that you've done before because you had so much fun doing it that you want to repeat and do it again. So, here we go. So you probably already know what this video is going to be about because you read the thumbnail, you saw the thumbnail, you read the description on the thumbnail. You already know what this video is going to be about. Tomorrow, specifically February 6th, is the first day of Megacon. Now this year, I'm kind of doing a repeat of what I did last year. I'm kind of going back and doing all 4 days like I did last year. And I'm really excited to do it because I had so much fun doing it last year. Last year was so much fun. I got to, see a bunch of people that I really enjoyed talking to and be able to connect with people and seeing all these creators that I see on Instagram. I mean, all of this stuff was possible because I went to Megacon. Now, what's funny is that a lot of the creators that I met last year are coming back. So I'm probably going to run into them as well. And what's also going to be really cool is to just explore the show floor. Now, something that I've noticed, at least on the Megacon website, is that they are not going to be doing it in the same building as they did it last year. Now, I remember parking over by the north-south lot, and I remember having to walk all the way to the other building that they have on the other side. Now, I was a little bit skeptical as to why this year they ramped up the pricing on parking, because it was $30 last year and this year it's $40. And I was a little skeptical as to why they did that. And now I know why, and that is because they are utilizing the building that's connected directly to the north and south lot. So I'm like, okay, that means I don't have to walk as much this year, which is great. And if I want to take a break or whatever, I can just walk over to the car, grab a snack. So that's really cool. So in one side, I'm like, okay, I paid more for parking, but now that I'm closer to the actual venue, that's a big thumbs up for me. So I'm really excited to do this. I have a cosplay planned for Saturday. I've been working on this thing now for the past maybe 2 or 3 weeks or so, literally since probably right after Jefferson left. That's when I started doing this. So, if you saw the previous vlog, you already know what this is going to be about. So, I'm just ready to have fun. I'm ready to see the creators that I really enjoy doing and connect with them a little bit more, just have a blast. That's my goal, is just to have a blast over at Megacon. And man, I'm bringing you guys along with me, so let's go.
Notify us immediately.
All right, successful first day here at Megacon. We have officially gotten our badge. We are set up on the app. Everything is in place. I was able to, go around, walk the show floor. That was really cool. I am very surprised at the size and scope of this year's show floor, because last year, I don't know if my brain went into a complete mush and forgot what was like last year, but for some reason, I feel like this show floor is just bigger, and I was almost like twice confirmed that the fact that it feels bigger is because it's in a different building that is actually bigger than the other show floor that was last year. Now, based on what I heard, they've hopped around other years as well, so this is nothing new to them, so that's interesting. And another interesting fact is that I actually got to see some people who I know from the internet. People who I, follow on the internet, which is really cool. I got to see Nathan from Paging Mr. Morrow. I got to see Hannah and Dimitri, which, funny enough, and this is a fun little fact that you should know, I ran into them yesterday at Hollywood Studios by pure accident. By pure accident. I had no idea that they were going to Hollywood Studios, and I ran into them there. And I happened to show up in one of their videos by pure accident as well. I mean, I'm like literally in the background. You can barely see me, but I'm in the background of their video, which is hilarious. So I got to see both of them. They're always super cool. I got to see Destiny, which is also a person who I follow on Instagram. And I got to see a friend of mine who I haven't seen in over, like, I would say 12 years. And we went to high school together, and it was in South Florida. And then we just crossed paths here, which was freaking hilarious. And we got a picture together. And I mean, I'm just absolutely floored at the possibilities. So today I'm kind of leaving a little bit earlier than normal. Today the show floor closed at 9, and there was a big loud voice that said, "Hey, you guys got to go because it's closing at 30 minutes." Yeah, that was like really loud and wild. But nonetheless, today was the first day. Unlike last year, this year there was no panels that I was interested in, to be honest. Today there was no panels I was interested in. But tomorrow there are panels that I'm quite interested in seeing. So I'll definitely catch you guys up tomorrow on what I want to see. But as for day one, successful. Can't complain. It was a lot of fun. All right, we're back. It's day 2 of Megacon. Today there is a panel that I do want to see, and it is the Breakfast Club panel. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I want to see if we can do it. I would have to get there like at least an hour and a half before. Hopefully it works out, and that's how we do it. But other than that, today is going to be a fun day. There is like an activity that I might want to do, and it starts at like 11-ish. So let's see if I can do that and then go and see the panel afterwards. But I'm going to have to be in line at least like an hour and a half to 2 hours prior, because it is the 40th anniversary and the cast of Breakfast Club is here. So let's see if we can do that, and yeah, let's go have fun.
Hot chocolate steaming in my cup, my phone on silent, world locked up. Got that baseline warm in my soul, while outside everything moves slow. No follow when you feel it right. Sometimes peace comes from inside. Let them wonder where I'm at. We're caught up in this cozy trap. Feel that warmth all around. Everything quiet, not a sound. Time to slow it down before we hit that ground. I'm caught in this cozy trap. Can't even think about going back. I'm caught in this cozy trap. Let me stay right where I'm at. I'm caught in this cozy trap. Walk away, that's a fact. I'm caught in this cozy trap. This is where it's really at. Some days you gotta pause your race. Find your peace in your own space. Ain't no shame in taking breaks. That's how you stay awake. Yeah, I'm caught in this cozy trap. Can't even think about going back. Not way back. Caught in this cozy trap. Yeah, let me stay right where I'm at. I'm caught in this cozy trap. So cozy. World can wait. That's the fact. That's why you're caught in this cozy trap. This is where it's really at. Hot chocolate steaming in my cup, my phone on silent, world locked up. Got that baseline warm in my soul, while outside everything moves slow. No follow when you feel it right. Sometimes peace comes from inside. Let them wonder where I'm at. We're caught up in this cozy trap. Feel that warmth all around. Everything quiet, not a sound. Time to slow it down before we hit that ground. I'm caught in this cozy trap. Can't even think about going back. I'm caught in this cozy trap. me stay right where I'm at. I'm caught in this cozy trap, walk away, that's a fact. I'm caught in this cozy trap. This is where it's really at. Some days you gotta pause your race, find your peace in your own space. Ain't no shame in taking breaks, that's how you stay awake. Yeah, I'm caught in this cozy trap. Can't even think about going back, not way back. Caught in this cozy trap, yeah. Let me stay right where I'm at. I'm caught in this cozy trap, so cozy. World can wait, that's the fact. That's why caught in this cozy trap. This is where I say, yeah.
And we're back from day 2. Day 2 was a success, a real success. I got to see the cast, as you saw, of the Breakfast Club. I think that this year, specifically for this one occasion, I think that they did a better job this time around with organizing the people in line. I don't know how they did it, but I feel like it was a little bit better than last year. Not perfect by a mile, but better than last year's debacle that they did over on the other side. I think, the panel was awesome, seeing all 4 of them there. Of course, you're missing a few cast members here and there, but having, let's say like the main cast in there without Emilio, of course. It's kind of sad not to see him there, but to see them and have them talk about their experience in the movie, it was really cool. Brought me some insight as well into what they were thinking at the time. And overall, going around, seeing people running into Dimitri once again. And he was hanging out as well with Destiny, which was really cool. So I'm stoked. I'm ready to see what is there to come on day 3, because tomorrow I'm dressing up. Tomorrow I am officially dressing up in my Fallout gear that I've been working on. Honestly, it's not all that complicated. I bought a suit on Amazon, and then all I had to do was build the Pip-Boy, because the suit comes with a Pip-Boy, but whatever that is does not fit on my arm whatsoever. It's built for like somebody that has like maybe an arm that's like 3 times the thickness of mine, but I built one that fits me, that straps in real good, and I'm very excited to come out and see what they have in store for day 2 and tomorrow as well. Day 3, I should say. But tomorrow there's the Ella Purnell panel, and I really want to see what she's going to talk about in terms of her experience on Fallout. So it's going to be a really cool day, and see you tomorrow on day 3. All right, everybody. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy, but it is officially day 3 of Megacon, or as everybody calls it here, the big day. And it's called the big day for a good reason, because it is the day that this entire event is packed. And I'm telling you, so far, it's been a quest to find a parking spot. But luckily, I got here early enough that I didn't have to park so far, but it is packed today. Packed. you know, and hopefully there is some room to maneuver around, but I'm gonna, like, you know, play it safe. You know, I didn't get here too early to get super tired and that sort of thing, so I'm taking my time. I'm breathing. I'm probably gonna walk the show floor for a little bit just to have a little bit of fun. I already have my Pip-Boy set up over here, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna be taking some photos of that and showing it throughout the video so that you guys can see a few of the details and how it works and everything. But yeah, it fits perfectly, does not hurt me in the slightest. I do feel like at the end of the day, I'm gonna feel like I just worked out like a bunch with this thing on, but luckily it feels good, doesn't move around as much, so I'm not gonna have so much of a problem like I did last year with my Mandalorian cosplay. But other than that, it's gonna be fun. Today is the day that the Ella Purnell panel happens, so I am excited to see that. So hopefully I do get into that. Yesterday we had, you know, the Back to the Future. I'm already starting to think about last year's Megacon, but no. Yesterday we had the Breakfast Club panel, which was really cool. So I'm hoping that it's within the same vibe this year. So let's see. Let's hope that it's within the same vibe. So yeah, I just gotta put a few more pieces together on my cosplay, and then we're ready to go. So let's have fun at day 3 at Megacon.
Well, well, look who's here, following my perfume trail. Smoky scenes and broken dreams, catch me if you can hear. Left you a calling card at the Grand Hotel. My finest pearls weren't really pearls, but you knew that well. Every false lead takes you closer, sweet. Catch me if you can, dear. 6 cities down, your game's worn thin. I know your tricks, your favorite fits, that charm and grin. Each perfect scheme, you just lead to me. Catch me if you can, dear. Round and round we dance this sweet romance of chase and flee, your hands in me. But darling, can't you see that every night we hold on tight to catch me if you can, dear. Diamond rings and precious things, all smoke and lies, but in your eyes I see the prize. Not diamonds bright, but candlelight. Catch me if you can, dear. What's the game we're playing? When did Ruth start swaying? Is it still pretending when the chase keeps blending into something more than before? Round and round we guess this sweet romance of chase and free, your hands in me. But darling, can't you see that every night we hold on tight to catch me if you can, dream. Maybe I'm so down, maybe you'll catch up. Catch me if you can, dear.
Tabled by the wall, every morning call. Black coffee, 2 sugars, watch you through the blur.
Corner booth for one, watch the morning sun. your crossword puzzle daily, making time sail by.
Coffee's cold, but we're getting warmer every day a little more. Didn't need a matchmaker, just an empty coffee pour.
Your red scarf caught my eye, your smile looked too hard. December turn made me shy.
What we to be made, work find their way, your turn to make.
While we looked away, finally today, words found their way. Your chair next to mine, everything to things just fine.
Coffee's cold, but we're getting warmer every day a little more. Didn't need a matchmaker, just an empty coffee cup.
Mind if I sit here? Been waiting all year.
Now the coffee's cold, but our stories go. Ba-da-ba-dee-ba-da-da-ba-ba-da-da.
Old record player in the corner, bit of dust, but it still works.
And we're back to the car on day 3 of Megacon. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to show a lot of the cosplay. I'm gonna try to, you know what? I'm gonna try to show the cosplay a little bit more in a different form. But I would say that a few things I have to point out. First, this suit is a lot more comfortable than I thought it would be. Very comfortable. Did not feel in the least hot in this outfit. I know that it's made of a cheap material, but let me tell you, it held up pretty darn well. So that's the first part. Second part, the Pip-Boy that I'm wearing, that I made right here, I have to say, first off, I understand that based on the video games, this makes sense. Like a Pip-Boy itself makes sense in the video game sense, but in practicality, who the heck is gonna wear this? Because like, this makes no sense at all. Like in real world terms. I understand like if it has other features other than like checking your stats and that sort of thing, but in real world terms, honestly, big, bulky, and doesn't make any sense. But in video game terms, it works out perfectly. Now, how did it hold up against, you know, this entire day at Megacon? Pretty darn well, I should say. Pretty darn well. It didn't, you know, it didn't fidget around it too much. It did fidget around. I mean, if you don't, you know, move it around every once in a while, it's gonna flip over like it's doing right now. But nonetheless, it was a success and didn't in any way hinder my experience, which was absolutely amazing. That's the main thing. In terms of the day itself, I think today was an absolute success. Absolute success. I was able to do 3 panels. 3. Most of the time people only do 1 panel, 2 if they're lucky. But to do 3 panels was an absolute, you know, home run for me, personally. Seeing the very first panel with Adam Savage, I did not expect to see that one. I want to tell you, that was on my radar. It was literally like right there on my schedule, and I said, will I be able to do this one? And I was afraid of doing that one and missing the Ella Purnell panel. But then I realized that there was a panel for Catherine Tate right in between the two, which means everything worked out perfectly. It allowed me to see the Adam Savage one, and then I got to leave the Adam Savage one and then go and get in line for Ella Purnell's one, which was perfect. And then afterwards, I was like, you know what? There's still like over an hour and a half to go. You know what? I might as well just go watch the Skeleton Crew panel. And I did. And that was really cool too. So, I mean, seeing Ella Purnell was amazing. She's fantastic. I mean, there's no words I could use other than absolutely charming. Really enjoyed seeing her and her, you know, talk about her experience on Fallout, doing Arcane. I mean, all these really great shows that she's been able to do. And she said that she was shooting currently season 2 of Fallout. She said that she read some of the script. She almost revealed something, which was funny. But nonetheless, awesome. And she was only here for today. Like, today was the only day that she was here for. After that, we had, the Skeleton Crew panel, which was great. Seeing the kids up there, and then seeing Jude Law as well. Now, here's the funny thing. Before the panel started, I counted 7 seats. And why does that make, why was that, a thing for me? Because I know for a fact that in the cast, there's 5 people. There are the 4 kids and Jude Law. Those are the 5 people that are there. There was an extra seat, and then there was the seat for the moderator. And I was like, who the heck is going to fill that final spot, that 6th seat? Because I thought maybe it was an error on the part of, the people at the convention. But no. It was Bryce Dallas Howard, which was like, how the heck do you get Bryce Dallas Howard to do something like this? Like, she was already at the event. And I'm already going to see tomorrow her panel with her dad, which is Ron Howard, the director, and Clint, who I believe is her brother. So it's going to be really interesting. This is going to be really, 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 really interesting to see tomorrow. But for a Saturday, which is usually people's most stressful day, I would say that this was the utmost successful day that I could have pulled off at Megacon. So that was absolutely awesome. Tomorrow is the final day of Megacon, and I am, I'm kind of dreading it because it's like, dude, it's the last day. It's been so much fun seeing so many people, taking pictures. I got to take pictures with a bunch of people who were dressed as, a vault dweller, which was super cool. And the Pip-Boy itself got a lot of attention, which was really cool. I was like waiting in line and people were looking at it. I was sitting down and then people were like looking at it and just like mind blown. I mean, dude, it's 3D printing and a phone. That's all it is. It's not that complicated. But it was super cool to see everybody's reaction to it. And tomorrow, last day, it just hits you like a brick because you're like, man, I've had so much fun. And I can't wait to maybe, if I'm lucky, to do it again next year. So, let's go. Let's do day 4. I'm really excited. I got a lot of things that I want to, check out. Tomorrow is the typical shopping day. So, even though I shopped 2 out of the 4 days so far. So, let's see. Let's see what we can get tomorrow. And we'll survey the damage, tomorrow. Or maybe the next day. But yeah, let's do it. I'm really excited. Let's go. End of day 3. See you tomorrow, day 4. All right, guys. We are hitting the ground running today here at Megacon. It looks like it's going to be fairly busy. I mean, for a Sunday, I'm kind of surprised at the amount of people I'm seeing, but let's hope it isn't super busy. So, yeah, and today is the day that we have a panel to get to, and it's also the shopping day. Sorry, I have to change because of the lighting, but yeah, let's go do this. You know, let's finish off Megacon on a really great note.
窓の外には白い世帯が少しずつ転がる時が過ぎてく思い出たちは7も凍ってる目も前をなくそう時が出た変顔を恐れて気ままってたでもなんならわかるそいなすてだと春めく前に外と受け入れよう春めく前に強く降りたり春めく前にこぼしな泣いた春めく前に私らしく泣いてもいいよ笑顔もいいよ立ち会も改札それが私よ新しい日へ一個ずつでも立ちから気もしてさすれかる私らしく叩く大風がここは出てく季節を私に使える泣いてもいいよ笑顔もいいよ立ち会も改札それが私よ新しい日へ一個ずつでも立ちから気もしてさすれかる
Our Megacon trip has officially come full orbit because we have finally finished Megacon, this incredible experience that, you know, was incredible last year and this year just amplified even more. I think that for a final day at Megacon, I think it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. For a final day at Megacon, I think this year's Megacon final day for me was much better than last year's. I think last year, being that it was my very first con that I was like actively going to and not working at. I've spoken about this in last year's vlog at Megacon. I said that I did work at a few cons before. You know, SuperCon I've done Magic City, Comic Con. So I mean, for those events, I had gone and walked show floors before. I've worked during Holiday Matsuri, Hall Mat, for those of you who know. I've worked at those events, so for me, it was never like a thing for me. But last year was my first official con that I actually paid to go to. So my decision in coming back to Megacon was very much based on the experience I had last year. Now, overall, I think that this year's Megacon was an improvement on last year's. I did talk about a little bit of the disorganized situation that they had last year going on here at Megacon. I feel like this year they were able to fix a lot of those grievances that I had beforehand. And I think that it's a great thing. It's a great opportunity for people who have never been to a con to go to a con like this. And this being a gigantic con, I feel like it's a great experience. So, I mean, I definitely recommend people to come and do the con and actually have this experience. Now, putting that aside for a second, we got to see 2 panels on the final day, which I think is mind-blowing. You know, it is so hard for some people to actually get into certain panels, and I was able to do 2 panels on the final day, which brings our total of panels, of overall panels that we've done this official con to 6 panels. Dude, I am blown away at the fact that I was capable of doing that number of panels, because most of the time people plan ahead. They say, oh, I'm going to do X and Y panels, and they never get to do it because they never have enough time. So I said, you know what, this time around, I want to focus on having the con experience, which, like last time, I wasn't prepared. I just came like a headless chicken and completely had no idea what I was doing. And this time around, I feel like I had enough knowledge from last time to know how to tackle this time around, to tackle this con in this way this time around. So a lot of things that I've learned from last year that I applied to this year. First things first, stay hydrated, drink lots of water. You know, it's a long day, your mouth is gonna get dry. Bring some mint or a snack, and that actually joins in to part 2, or the second on the list of things that you should know about. Bring money for snacks if you are going to eat. If you're someone who's constantly hungry or need to snack on something. I'm not that type of person. I don't get super hungry that often, so if I'm gonna eat, I have to come and bring enough money to eat. So make sure you plan out, like, do a meal plan. You know, if you're one person coming by yourself, you know, bring like $25 a day for just food. If you're gonna eat at the con, bring just $25 for food, and you're not gonna go hungry. I'm sure of it. The portions aren't they're not gigantic, but you're gonna eat, and that's like enough, you know, to keep you sustained, which is, you know, enough for that. Or bring a snack in your backpack, or put a snack in your you know, pocket or whatever. Just do that. Another thing, make sure you use the app. Make sure that you are using the Megacon app, because if you are not using this app, you are missing out on a lot of stuff, because everything happens through the app. Everything that you need to know about what's going on at the event is happening through the Megacon app. So use this opportunity to download it, get it on your phone, and that way you can schedule everything that you want to do throughout the con. I did my scheduling like a week before the con happened, because obviously you want to make sure you have that in hand before, you dig into a different situation. So, make sure you plan out your visit through the app. It's not complicated. Everything's listed on there for you. You just add things to your schedule, and you can even click on My Schedule to see what you've selected. There were a couple of things that I wanted to do at Megacon this year that I didn't get to do, but they were not priority. They were like secondary things that ended up, being pushed to the side. But I did get to do the majority of things that I wanted to do, and to me, that is a success. In part to the planning and making sure that everything is there. Now, fourth thing they should know, if you're going to buy merch, set aside some money for that merch. Now, there are people who come to this con and spend an abundance of money. I'm talking about like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on things that, honestly, like, I would not spend my money on. I don't have the budget for that. I'm more of a cheaper person when it comes to certain things that I want to pick up. If it's like a certain figure that I know I'm not going to find anywhere else, more than likely I will be going to the con and saying like, hey, this is what I want. This is the type of thing that I want to pick up. This is the type of, memorabilia or something that I want to collect. A certain collectible, whether it be a comic book or a figurine. So make sure you plan your budget. Make sure you budget out your things. I made a budget for myself on like a maximum of what I was going to spend at the con. And I would say that of my budget, I spent maybe half of what I was willing to spend at Megacon, which means that I did a pretty good job in saving money, and that is something that everybody should be able and capable of doing. That's a great thing. Now, overall, in terms of the experience, organization, and, dedication of the people at the event, I have to say, great job. What a great job that they did this year. Really getting people up to speed. The organization felt a little bit more up to par with what I expect. Having clear signage of the events that are going to happen. Something that last year they did not have. Making sure that everybody understands where they need to go, where they need to line up. That is crucial to the success of an event, and they were able to pull it off this year. So I have to give them a big thanks. I have to thank Megacon for being absolutely amazing this year. I just can't wait for if I get the opportunity, I definitely would love to come back and experience Megacon next year. But nonetheless, successful day, 2 panels. We got the Howard family right at the beginning of the day at 11 o'clock. Was a great panel. Lots of little insights, into the family dynamic with Clint and Bryce and Ron. Everybody there just having that conversation, giving a little bit of insight into their like family dynamic, how they interact with one another, is just absolutely amazing. These are the types of people who I, as someone who aspires to maybe one day work in the movie industry, I would love to work with. These are the type of people I would love to work with. Ron, Bryce, Clint are people who you just see in the way they speak and how they talk about the projects that they've done, how much they love what they do, and to me, is just inspiration. It's absolutely inspirational. As for the second, panel that I got to see with Joseph Quinn, who is our new Human Torch, Johnny Storm. I just can't wait to see him in the movie, but seeing his panel was so good. He's such a great guy. I feel like he's like kind of shy, kind of a shy guy to, approach and that sort of thing. And I feel like panels aren't his strong suit, but I can totally see that he's like, he's kind of shy. He doesn't really want to boast too much about the projects that he's working on, and specifically, he can't say anything about Fantastic Four. But hey, listen, I know Joseph Quinn is not going to be watching this video, but if he, by some miracle, comes across this video and sees me talking about it, dude, I am excited to see you in Fantastic Four this July, and I will be there to see this movie. As for my show floor experience today, I got to see people who I did not expect to see on the show floor today. So three people I did not expect to see on the show floor today. Let's start off with one that kind of shocked me a bit, and that was Liz Wonder. Liz Wonder is like known online as the cosplayer that looks just like Gal Gadot. I saw her, I said, I'm not gonna waste time. I need to take a picture with her. I got a picture with her. Looks absolutely awesome. She looks absolutely awesome in her full golden armor as Wonder Woman. Oh my God, absolutely love seeing her here. She's a local, AKA she's from Florida, so she came to visit, so that was freaking awesome. Another person that I did not expect to see, who also cosplays from time to time, is M from M the Fae, or M Fae, as you should probably see her online. Did not expect to see her at the con today, but I got to see her, which was super cool. Got a picture with her. And someone I did not expect to see at all at this year's Megacon was Allison Tabitha, which everybody knows is an absolutely amazing cosplayer. Last year, I had the absolute incredible honor of meeting her, because she's absolutely the sweetest person in the world. If you see Allison on the show floor, please go say hi to her. She is like genuinely the like kindest person you could possibly meet in your life. So I had the opportunity of meeting her last year. She was absolutely amazing. She cracked a joke with me. She said like, "Oh, I know now why I didn't recognize you, because you were in Mandalorian cosplay." But nonetheless, I did take a photo with her without the actual helmet on, and it was super cool. I learned a new phrase from her, a new word that I never heard before, and that was civvies. Civvies. Dressed up as civvies, which I never knew was a thing, but now I'm going to use that more often, which means as civilians, as in not in cosplay, which was a funny little thing. I'm going to try to spell it out. I might get the spelling wrong, but I think this is how you probably spell it. What else did I see? Well, I actually saw a bunch of people who were fantastic cosplayers. Oh my God, so many amazing cosplayers today. I got to do so many different things. Well, take pictures. That's what I mean. When I say things, I mean take pictures. Sometimes the words come out of my mouth and I have to correct myself. But I got to take so many pictures with cosplayers who I think were amazing. I got to take photos with, people dressed up. Technically, because today is Super Bowl Sunday, people dressed up in Mandalorian cosplay representing the Eagles. Now, I'm not picking teams here. Please do not come out for me. I'm not of any team at all. Okay? I am a neutral player in all of this. So if you're watching this, I am completely neutral. I will watch the game. I am watching more the game for the commercials, which is to say that I am definitely going to be watching the game, but it's more for the commercials and less for the game itself. And mind you, I want to see the halftime show because I'm excited to see SZA. But nonetheless, right now, we're heading home because we have to survey the damage. We have to see all of the cool little trinkets that I bought here at Megacon. And that's where I will be doing my shout out of the incredible people that I got to buy stuff from this year. So now let's cut over to all the trinkets that I bought this time around at Megacon. All right, so let's talk about the vendors the people who I bought stuff from at Megacon. Now, I know that you probably have had experiences with other people, but I'm only talking about the people who I had an experience buying items from. Now, there were a ton of different vendors that were selling incredible handcrafted items. You know, if you're gonna go to this event, specifically Megacon, go over to the Artist Alley and just stroll the Artist Alley. I mean, you're gonna find things like rugs, pillowcases that you can buy. You can find, little trinkets that are entirely handmade and are of incredible quality. So if you want to go over there and check those things out, I think those are great. And there's a lot of different vendors as well. And I mean, you're gonna find very different ranging vendors at these events. You're gonna find people who are selling incredible things for very fair prices that are competitive with other people, and you're going to also find people who jack up their prices absurdly because they know that it's going to be a packed day and they're going to sell. Now, if you're a smart person, you're more than likely not going to buy the stuff that is jacked up and the prices are absurdly high. So please, once again, please keep a lookout for those types of vendors. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to give out any sort of personal information on certain vendors, but there was one vendor I ran into, and I saw a bin with a bunch of Star Wars figures, and while the other figures were all priced, this one bin had no prices. So I asked him, like, what is the price of these figures? He turns to me and says, well, this one's $10, and this one's $15, and this one's 15, and this one's 10. Well, while every other vendor is actually selling things with a price tag on it, this one guy clearly decided to give me his price on the spot. And for me, that's like, that. I mean, let's be fair here. Let's put a price tag on the item. Then if you want to put a price tag on the item, I don't have to ask you, and you don't have to guess out of nowhere how much you're charging for that. So clearly label how much something is worth before selling it. That way it's easier for someone like me to be like, hey, you know what, I want to buy that, or you know what, not for me right now, I may come back later. That's how it works. That's how these things work. You can barter at these events. You can haggle a little bit. That's fine. But that also takes some, trust between the vendor and the person who's actually buying. But nonetheless, enough talking about the people who I did not do business with. Let's get down to business with the people who I did do business with, and that is very clear. So let's start off with two things. I'm going to split this into two parts: figurines and comics. So first off, let's start off with the figurines. Where did I get all these Funko Pops? Now, for me, I really don't care if you get Funko Pops in the box. For me, if you have the Funko itself, that is more than the value of what you're asking for. So for me, that's what matters. So the specific store that I got this at was the Toy Addict. Now, they didn't have a business card, so I got a picture of their t-shirt so that you can actually get an idea of what it is and where it is. But they were really cool. I don't know what it is about certain vendors, but I feel like every vendor is always on high alert on these, in these events. And I feel like this is one of those specific stores that are on high alert. They're always keeping an eye out, seeing if things are there and stuff. So I feel like they're very attentive, they're very serious at doing their business. So please, if you're going to these events, please give all your respect to these people, because they're there doing business and they want to try to provide a good experience for you. But I could definitely see that they were on high alert, specifically with the amount of people that were walking around their booth. So these Funkos were great. They ended up being $3 a piece, which, to be honest, for Funkos, that's not bad. I mean, I've bought Funkos, like physical in-box Funkos, brand new for that price before, but not a whole lot. It's usually like one out of like a bunch. But for $3, I think that was a fair price. I mean, for you to pick up some really cool figures that I haven't seen ever. I mean, I never knew that they had a Cuphead figure, and I picked up the Cuphead figure because I was like, this is awesome. I'm definitely going to take this. But I also found a lot of cool different figures like, you know, Harley Quinn. I found, you know, Leia in the bounty hunter uniform. I saw a bunch of different ones that were Star Wars related because I feel like I have a small deficiency in my Star Wars side of Funko Pops. I have more Marvel Funko Pops than Star Wars Funko Pops, so I said, you know what, let's see if I can add some more to the collection. So definitely got those. Rogue One figures as well. Got a droid. So I mean, really cool little package that I got there. And for $3 a piece, you can't go wrong. So now moving on to the next store that I went to, and this store is super tiny. I mean, I'm talking about really tiny. They take up like, I think their store is less than, say, like maybe like 6 to 8 square feet. Like that's as much of the store it is. They're a tiny store, but I can definitely see that they put a lot of love, care, and attention to how they display their stuff. They had a bunch of like dinosaurs, and they had some Godzilla figures. And for a tiny store, they're pretty cool. The name of the store is Stick E-Mart, like Quickie Mart from Simpsons. And it's funny enough because the logo is written the same way as the Quickie Marts, and also they have their faces on their business card in Simpsons form, which is really cool. But the figures that I got were really cool. I got, you know, a bag filled with like figures that are Star Trek related. And for me personally, I saw that bag on the first day of the event, came back home, and I couldn't get it out of my brain that I wanted those figures. So for me, I was really hoping that those figures were there on the next day, on Friday, and I said, dude, I hope that these figures are here. So then on Friday, I said, you know what, let me go check. And funny enough, they were still there, and I got super excited because then obviously I picked it up, and they were really great. I mean, they're in perfect condition. There's no scratches. It was really like, it's almost as if they cleaned the figures before putting them in the bag. And for me, that's an attention to detail that I have to give them props for, because they look fantastic as figures. As loose figures, they look fantastic. And there's also some minifigures as well in the bag, and there was actually a base for you to put one of the figures. I believe it's Captain Kirk that goes on top of the Star Trek base. I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna, you know, check that out. So I got those from them on the Friday. On Saturday, I didn't do any shopping, but on Sunday, I did go back, and they had a bin with Star Trek figures. Now, they were doing 2 for $10, so you would pick up 2 figures for $10. So I ended up picking up 4 figures, and I asked them, like, hey, are you doing any special deals today? I mean, I don't know what you can do. I picked up 4 figures. It was supposed to be $20, but they ended up dropping it to $15 for me on the final day, and I was like, dude, that's cool. I mean, for me, like, I would have easily paid the $20, but just the fact that they were like flexible enough to do the 15, I was like, that's great. And typically for them, if you're using card, as I was, they usually charge $1 more fee, just so that, you know, they can cover any fees that come from using credit cards, because that is something that you also have to be aware. A lot of these vendors are using cards, but they're paying fees as well. So if you have any way of taking cash with you, which for me, like, it's not always the case, but if you have cash on you, take that instead. And the vendors will thank you miles and miles beyond what you would think. So just keep that in mind. If you see a vendor and you have cash and you can pay in cash, do it, because they're gonna love you for it. So I definitely got those figures, enjoyed seeing those figures. They were in great condition. The Star Wars figures that I got on the final day, fantastic condition. Definitely something that I'm gonna put up and display that people can see. I mean, it's Star Wars. I mean, what more can I say? They look great. Those figures look fantastic, and I'm so proud of how they're gonna look on my display. And the final stop on the figurine trail, I should say, is a store that I saw back in 2024 that I went to on the final day that I got really excited about because they have tons of loose figures that you can choose from, and I have to give them a shout out here no matter what, and that's Retro Rat. I bought from them last year one of my favorite figures that I own. One of my favorite is a Wonder Woman figure that I got from their booth. Absolutely love that figure. I have it on my display. I just absolutely love looking at it. I definitely would rearrange my setup just to put it up front, but for the time being, it's behind most of my other figures. But definitely a figure that I absolutely love and I bought from them. And this year was no different. I actually got some really cool figures. I got 2 figures from Assassin's Creed, which I've never gotten any figures from Assassin's Creed. So this is a revelation for me. So I got 2 6-inch figures from Assassin's Creed that I really liked. I got a Batman figure, which was really cool. I mean, it's got like this sort of almost futuristic, like it's got like pipes coming out of his legs. I mean, it's really cool figure. I'll give them that. I also got a smaller Batman figure, which I really liked, and I got a Doctor Strange figure, which, funny enough, I think I saw this this specific Doctor Strange figure back in 2023 at Disney's pass holder merchandise event, which they are due to do again, because I mean I'm waiting to see them do that same event again at some point. But I think I saw it that year. Didn't get the figure because I think the price was a little higher than I was willing to pay for it. But now they're selling it here as a loose figure, and I saw it and I said, dude, I need to get this Doctor Strange, because it's a Doctor Strange in his astral form, which you rarely find. So I said, you know what? Definitely coming with me, not missing out this opportunity. But in terms of everything else, I mean, it was great. Again, Retro Rat is always on the lookout, making sure that they have everything in place. It's important that you respect these people. I know a lot of people try to create problems for vendors. Do not do that. Be cool with them. You know, ask if they have any deals. See if they have anything, in stock that they want to sell for a cheaper price. Always remember that they are willing to be flexible and fair in some sort of way. And it was no different with Retro Rat this year. I asked them what kind of deal they're willing to make, and they said, you know what? If you pay in cash, we're willing to drop the price. And he did a good deal for me, and I said, you know what? Let me check if I have that in cash. If I have too many big bills, maybe I can't pay. So I checked my wallet. Luckily enough, I had the exact amount in my wallet for what he needed. It's almost as if fate put that there in some way, shape, or form. But that was really cool, and I was able to pay him. And he thanked me. He was like, dude, thank you so much for paying in cash. And I said, dude, I know you guys have to pay a lot of fees and that sort of thing. And he was like, thankfully you understand. So yeah, so always be cool. Understand that these are people who are, trying to make money. So don't haggle too much. That's what I'm trying to say here. Don't haggle too much. But they were super cool, and I always recommend stop by their booth. It's almost like everybody just passes right by their booth and never even buys anything. But be cool with them. Just be cool. Be nice. don't piss them off. That's what I'm trying to say. But definitely Retro Rat is one that is a recommended for me. So let's get down to comics. Now, I know if you guys are looking for comics, are interested in comics, similar to how I am, for me personally, every time I look for comics, I'm looking for stores that are selling comics at a fair price. And what's a fair price to me? It's like anything between $1 and lower, because there's people in that event that are selling exuberantly large amounts of comic books. Now, here's the thing. I'm not talking about comic books that are, per se, collector's editions. I know the collector's editions ones are going for 150,000, 200,000, 500,000. We're talking about like people who collect comic books that have them in the case with the rating. There are people out there who spend that kind of money on comic books. Now, I understand that those are more like an investment in something. I get it. You know, this is something that you're going to display and ultimately in the future you might want to sell. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people here who are selling comics, not only at a fair price, but are sticking to their guns. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. The first stop that I went to that I was shocked by, that I was floored that they were doing this, but since day one, this booth was selling comics at 50 cents a piece, and that is Defender Comics. Now, if you guys don't know, these guys are located in Cape Canaveral. I've never seen them at Megacon. I mean, last year I did not see them. So this year when I saw them and I saw that they were selling 50-cent comics, I kind of broke my own rule to not buy anything the first day, and on the first day I bought comics from them, because honestly 50 cents of comics are fantastic. I mean, you can't go wrong, and I got a really nice collection of comics from them. I gotta give it up to Pat. If you see Pat there, go say hi to Pat. If you cross paths with them, if you're in Cape Canaveral and you go to their stores, go there, shake hands with Pat. Pat is super cool. He was super, he was cracking jokes and being cool, and I mean, he's one of those guys who you can see that he's like, everybody there is like on the same vibe. Everybody, there's no like people who are on high alert or anything like that. It's just like he knows that people who are there to pick up some really cool comics and add to their collection. So definitely great place to go. Defender Comics is definitely one that I'd recommend anybody stop by and chat with Pat. So thank you, Pat, for the additions to my collection, and for sticking to your guns, for sticking it out through the entire event. It was 50 cents on the first day all the way up until the fourth and last day. So really cool, and thank you so much for your business. And finally, the last vendor I went to at Megacon, and this is solely based on my experience with them last year, and that is Harvey Boys Comics and Toys. Now, they are a great booth. They have a fantastic collection. I mean, you can spend literally hours searching through their collection of comic books. They have a variety of heroes that you can think of. It's not really like, it's not all obscure comics. It's main comics. You'll find obscure comics in there, but you're going to find a lot of great main storyline comics. You're going to find Spider-Man. You're going to find Captain America. You're going to find, a lot of Secret Wars, Avengers comics you're going to find there as well. You're going to find a lot of DC-based comics. Batman. You're going to find a lot of Superman comics as well. So, I mean, you're going to find a variety of comics there that are fairly rare to find. I mean, I have to be honest. They were great in 2024, and they're great now. And I still recommend going to their booth. If you see their booth, they're one of those same guys who sell, comic books for $1. And this year, similar to last year, they did the same thing on the final day. They were selling comic books for 50 cents, or at least how they decided to put it on their booth. $1 comic, you buy one, you get one free. That's how they try to do it. So it is 50 cents a comic, but they did the buy one, get one free thing. So that was really cool, and I think they did a great job attracting people to their booth. And from them, on the last day, I splurged a lot. You know, I decided, you know what? Last day, I'm gonna buy as much as I can, or as much as I can fit or carry in my arm. And I did just that. I literally, I was lugging around. I think from their booth, I ended up taking over 60 comics. Which, I mean, compared to last year, if I were to put all the comics I put and bought from this year and last year, if I were to put them side by side, I nearly doubled the purchases that I did last year in terms of comics. So now my collection is very extensive and very, you know, large. I mean, I'm gonna have to organize all these comics somehow. So, I mean, I've been dabbling in comics more and more. I even have comic books that I bought back in 2015? I don't remember when it was. I think it was either 2014, 2015, or 2016, something like that. It was one of those dates. I remember it coincided with the release of that first Suicide Squad movie, which I can't remember when it came out. I'm going to try to put that year right next here to my head. So it came out that year, and I've had those comic books for that long. So there you go. That's your 2 cents on the subject. But I think I did really good business this year. I think that I got a slew of comic books, which means I'm going to have to at least read one book or 2 books a day, and catch up on a lot of these storylines. Currently, I am still trying to finish a Captain America book with Sam Wilson as Captain America, because obviously Captain America Brave New World is about to come out in theaters. So, or by the time that you see this, it's already in theaters. So definitely something that I'm dabbling into, comic books. So that's my 2 cents on the comic books. But overall, I think we did really good business. And honestly, to me, it excites me to see these things, you know, on my shelf, being displayed. I even found, you know, 3D printed, you know, display mechanisms to display these, you know, comic books in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to try to do a display of them on my wall in some way. Definitely inside the plastic bag. I'm not going to go as far as to keep them raw, but definitely inside the plastic bags on the wall, and try to display them, because I really would like to display a few comic books that I have that I love the cover of. So, yeah, I think we did great. We got awesome figurines, awesome Funko Pops, and we doubled the size of our comic book collection. At least doubled the purchases of comic books from last year. So, really cool. Really cool. I absolutely love what I did this year. I loved going to Megacon, seeing people dressed up in cosplay, being able to take pictures with people who I had no clue were going to Megacon this year, and just crossing paths with them was like mind-blowing to me. So for me, it was a stellar experience, and it's an experience that I more than likely will want to do again next year. And next year, funny enough, Megacon is not happening in February. It's actually happening in March, which is like, what? March? Yeah. I feel like they're doing it so that they can coincide with spring break, which I'm sorry. I think it's kind of wild that they would be doing this to attract spring break crowds. But nonetheless, I more than likely will go next year for Megacon. So I'm, getting ready. I'm pumped. And I want to see what else they have to offer. I want to know what, celebrities are going to be making their way to Megacon this year. I know that they might have, people like for next year, because next year is the 40th anniversary of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I really would like to see if they're gonna get Ferris Bueller himself, Matthew Broderick, to come out and do it, I know for a fact that if Matthew Broderick decides to show up at Megacon, dude, my dad more than likely is gonna buy a ticket to Megacon just to see his panel, so let's just put it that way. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for next year. I'm excited to see what new cosplays are coming. There's a lot of great movies coming out this year. And speaking of movies, that's a good segue into my next part, which is the fact that I have a channel on YouTube that talks about movies, talks about gaming, talks about different forms of media, specifically, movies, TV shows, and things of that nature. And that channel is called Marcelo Silva's The Movie Savant. So if you're curious, go check it out at The Movie Savant. I am going to be posting some very different videos on that channel very soon, specifically projects that I want to do, and projects that, instead of talking about movies, I'm going to be showing some DIY projects that you may or may not be curious about. So subscribe to that channel, because I have a lot of stuff going on in that channel, and hopefully that you guys are interested in checking that out. But other than my movie channel, my Movie Savant channel, I have also our family channel, which you guys can go check out, Canal Florida do Brasil, which is a channel that's entirely in Portuguese. And you're more than likely gonna see exclusive little shots of Megacon on that Instagram page. So go and check it out, and keep your eyes open, because you never know. You never know if new things from Megacon that I didn't post on this vlog, you're more than likely gonna see it there. So there you go. And I'm gonna leave it here today. This video has already gone on way too long. I hope you guys made it to the end, because I really hope you did and got to enjoy my experience at Megacon. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next vlog, which should be coming out soon, hopefully.